You're good.
Shalom to everybody. I know that this week in Eretz Yisrael we're reading Parshas Baaloscha, but in Chutz Laretz we're reading Parshas Naso, which is, I assume most of the people who are listening to this or watching it are going to read Parshas Naso, so we'll just say over a quick idea. In Parshas Naso we have the famous Parsha of Nazir and the Parsha of Sota back to back. The order of Sota and Nazir. Chazal say, why are these two Parshas mentioned one next to the other? And the answer given is, Chazal say, Kol havoa sota b'kilkulo, any person that sees a sota in the kilkulo, how do we translate kilkulo? The mess that she's in, the wreck that she's in, that she brought upon herself, in her ruin. Anyone who sees a sota woman in that situation, yazir atzmo min hayayin, should make a neder to become a nazir, to abstain from wine. Question is, what is the connection between a sota woman and wine? And Chazal say very simple connection. A lot of the reason, one of the great reasons that bring a person to wrong behavior, that type of behavior, adultery, adulterous behavior, is drinking wine. A person gets drunk, he loses himself, and thus a person that sees a sota woman in the situation that she's in should take upon himself to be a nazir. The question is, if wine is really so bad, then wine should simply be forbidden. And on the other hand, if it's okay, it's okay. And yet we know a lot of mitzvahs are done with wine. Kiddush l'chadchila is meant to be done with wine. At a bris milah they have wine, havdalah, sheva brachos. Well, if wine is so terrible, so how do we have mitzvahs with wine? And the answer is that wine in general is really something very good. However, there are certain people that wine could be bad for them. Just like most things in the world, in general, we have purposes. Most of the products have purposes, good purposes. But certain people have allergies. Let's say sesame is good for a lot of people. It's healthy. But some people have an allergy to sesame. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with the person or there's something wrong with sesame. Just the connection between this person's neshama and sesame doesn't go well. That's how Hashem made the person. Certain people have an allergy, a spiritual allergy to wine, meaning that wine for them doesn't go well with them. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with the person. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with wine. But for some reason, Hashem does not want this person to have wine. And Hashem shows this specific person the situation of a sota woman, that this person who sees a sota woman should ask himself, why is it me? Why did I see the sota woman? How come I saw it? How come I was walking by the Beis HaMikdash and happened to see the sota woman, and yet my very best friend didn't? How come I didn't remember where I put my watch or my glasses or my wallet, and I was delayed a half a minute, and I happened to be, or a minute or an hour, whatever it is, I happened to be walking by, and my friend wasn't. Apparently HaKadosh Baruch Hu was trying to tell me something, that he's hashgacha pratis, he's telling me, he's hinting to me that wine is not good for me, and he wants me to take the initiative to stay away. That's one quick idea. Another idea we could say simply about the sota woman and the nazir is a lesson that we could learn, that a person that sees a sota woman should take the experience with him, put it into action. Sota woman is perhaps a negative experience in terms of seeing, but how does a person put it into action? By becoming a nazir. In general in life we have a lot of experiences, some are negative, some are good, but all of them hopefully should be meaningful. And they shouldn't be just something as a memory in the past, but we should try to put it into action. And that's the idea of a person seeing a sota woman, taking upon himself to become a nazir, putting it into action, and thus that experience remains with him. A lot of guys left Eretz Yisrael this week, and hopefully those that left Eretz Yisrael, and those that left a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, hopefully will continuously keep the year, put it into action. If you haven't done it yet, it's never too late. And that way our past will always be with us. Have a good Shabbos, guys.